friendly bikers coming by. I was talking to Robert Robb this morning, talking about how you can never predict the weather around here. It's supposed to be like 62 and sunny today. When I was talking to him, it was like 45, 46, and it looked like it could start dumping rain at any moment. I was sitting there goofing around on the computer and watching the MotoGP race, and all of a sudden I keep hearing this roaring thunder. But this is a route that people from the north, people coming down from Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, they take this route to go up to Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens is still a major tourist attraction. So you get a lot of people coming up this way. If you're coming from the south, you take Spirit Lake Highway. Is that my kid? I think that's my kid. Here's Toyota anyway. Looks like his girlfriend. Hey, I was just riding along and I said that looks like my kid.
My battery died in this piece of shit. I don't know, fired right up, came in here, we're about to go out in the woods and fired up and it's wrong.
So it's dead sitting here right now?
Yeah, Jarvis can come give me a job.
Oh. What the hell? Something disconnected or?
No, here's that squirrel.
If she was still small and soft, you could push it.
No, because then if we don't fire up, then I look like a dumbass.
Oh yeah. Yeah, V6 probably doesn't bump over real easy either. Gong, gong. I think she looked at me like, who the hell is this crazy bastard on the motorcycle? Like, please brother, don't rob me. Yeah, just goofing around, going somewhere different. I was just going to buzz down these roads, and haven't been down here in a long, long time. So I come through here last week, and I got gas in the Spider, and I thought, you know, I haven't ridden over there in a long time. So anyway, I'm going to venture on.
Alright, Paul.
Yeah, I looked up and I said, I know that truck. Alright, you guys be safe out there.
I did.
See ya. Some other fellers out there riding along. Would offer him a jump, but I don't think a little Harley iron battery would do much for a Toyota pickup truck. But yeah, I'm glad I turned around. That's my son Ryan that literally works in the stall next to me. I was about to tell the story of one of my motorcycle crashes, one of my first road crashes that I remember anyway. I don't think I crashed anywhere else. It was the most significant one. But I was around 75, 76. I was on a 73 Harley Davidson X90. It's a little mini bike. And I got it for Christmas of 72. It was a 73 model. This road dead end, so people are probably going to look at me pretty weird. But I think we can get a look at the lake out here. Anyway, we're living in a new neighborhood that was rapidly growing when we first moved into it. I think it was probably 73. Look at this, where it's kind of, that's just normally a little slough. All the rain and stuff's got the water real high. These bird feeders or bird houses have been up here, God, as long as I can remember. They look like they've been renewed a year or two ago. But the swallows go in there and nest. But this is the end of the paved road. It becomes a dirt road. I used to go way down here on my DR650 all the time. But this is the backside of the lake. Just beyond, there was trees back in there, is the actual dam for the that helped create the lake. Not really much to see. God, it's so crazy to come out here in the wintertime because it's so beautiful in the summertime. Just lush and green and just gorgeous. So anyway, when we first moved there, we were the second house lived in or completed. My first official girlfriend, it was Heidi Zoots, was the first house. She was up on the corner. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, they developed, you know, added all these streets with alleyways and stuff. It's all concrete, which is normal in the South. And the roads. And anyway, I was tooling along through there, and I was staring down at the front wheel for some reason. I have no idea why. I've really got this guy's curiosity. That guy like really wanted me to stop or something, didn't he? What are you doing down here, boy? The other way where I turned off. Let's go. It's been a long time since because I took a right onto this. We'll go back out here and take a right again and continue on the road that I turned off of. But anyway, I'm bombing along. I'm looking at the front wheel. Don't know why. And this neighbor gal that was like 2 blocks down from us, she was coming out of her alley in one of the, it was new at the time, but it was a new Chevrolet, oh man, what was that thing? It was a great big 2-door boat anchor. I don't think that was a Caprice. It might have been an Impala. I don't know. It was one of the very, very large ones. They're very common. Wow, I can't think of the name of the car. But anyway, dark green. She doesn't see me coming down the road. And of course, I'm like an idiot looking at my front wheel. And the last second I look up, there she was. She realized she pulled out in front of me and slammed on her brakes. And that was actually the worst thing, because I broadsided her. Hit her right behind the front wheel on the right front quarter panel. And I just, Superman. I remember skimming across her windshield and her hood and going airborne off the other side. And I remember getting up kind of all lightheaded and dingy. I was wearing a helmet, of course. And I was goofier than a $3 bill, trying to figure out what the hell just happened, you know. And the craziest thing, of course, you know, back then, the metal, this is so weird. This is also log. This was a very dark, almost tunnel-like ride through here. I don't know why everybody's so buck-ass crazy about cutting down all the trees. But it did surprisingly little damage to her car. It smashed my headlight, and luckily it just tweaked the forks in the triple trees. I can't believe it didn't bend the forks. And anyway, we both kind of walked away unscathed, except for one problem. I couldn't get the bike started. It just flooded or something because it laid on the ground while I was trying to gather my thoughts. But I had to walk the bike back, and she followed me in her car and went up. That's the end of the road here. Look at that. How often do you see a sign there? Turn around. Here. You have reached the end of your journey. See how all these woods are all locked off? Area closed and motorized public access. It's because in the 90s, had some idiots coming out here riding on Weyerhaeuser and other land. And there's one guy in particular was out on some Weyerhaeuser paper company, or you know, their lumber, paper, you name it, anything to do with wood products and paper. But this guy on a four-wheeler crashed and sued him for an unsafe property. He hit a log or something and crashed and busted himself up. Sued him and won. Bam! All the woods got locked down. and they will, if they catch you out there, they will literally impound your vehicle, and you can quite possibly lose it. They are that serious about keeping the riffraff out of there. I mean, how many times have you been out riding in the woods and crash and burn and hurt yourself? Has a thought ever crossed your mind to think you're on someone else's property and I hit an obstacle out in the middle of your woods and I need to sue you for it? What in the holy hell has the world come to? People have lost their freaking minds. But anyway, I remember my old man being quite pissed off. And the gal, she was kind of a bitch because she screamed at me for, you know, speeding down the alleys and down the road. And I think she said I was going to get hit or I was going to hit somebody. And lo and behold, guess who it happens to and with. But anyway, that was the first rumble tumble. The second, probably significant one, street crash, was probably about 1979 after we moved up here. I was living in Longview, Washington, out by Mount Solo. In fact, there's a day when I was doing a recorded run with this that I go down this little road. It's called Mount Solo Road. It's this crazy, incredible motocross track, paved road. I mean, that thing is so rough. I mean, I've taken my FJ Cruiser down through there, and that thing's just waving. I mean, most dirt roads you go down is not as rough as this. It's literally like going through the whoops of a motocross track. Anyway, we were running from some hoodlums. We were went up to this hilly area that was, it's hard to explain where it was. Anyway, we were coming down. I was, what, a sophomore, maybe a junior, I don't remember, sophomore, I think. And there's these redneck, druggy hoodlums having a pegger out there. We stumbled across them. They come after us, and me and my friend take off. We're bombing down that road. I mean, I don't know why we were still going so fast, because you fly down this dirt road and then hit that little Mount Solo road, and I mean, they were in pickup trucks. They didn't have a Chinaman's chance of hell of catching us. But we're still fleeing. Well, it started pouring down rain, and my goggles were fogging up, and I couldn't hardly see out of them. So I'm bombing through a left-hand turn, reach up, pull the goggles down, and the old XL250 went into a tank slapper. God, if this camera would work. It was just St. Helens is just peeking through the trees. You can see the... why do I even bother? I do have my little Canon in my pocket. I guess I could stop, but hell, I'd be doing a lot of stops. That's crazy how that son of a bitch is sitting right there. No way that camera will pick it up. I'm probably 15 miles or so from it. I'm on the west side of the mountain. It blew out towards the north. It just turns around right here. I think if there's another spot, I'm going to take that other road. But anyway, I went into a tank slapper, bit the dust, shaved this finger. There was nothing. I had the skin, where your fingerprint and stuff was there. Ripped the fingernail off. Actually, it was dangling by that skin. The bone was hanging out. Had to fight with the doctor, and when I went home, spent the night. It was the longest night of my life. And got up next morning, my mom took me to the, speaking of FJ Cruiser, but my mom took me to the emergency room, and they wanted to hack the finger off. And I begged and pleaded, and please don't, please don't. And my mom finally took my side, and he says, it'll never work. The thing will rot, and we'll end up having to take it off anyway, and you're going to have all these skin grafts and all this crazy shit. You'll never have a fingernail. You're going to be back. We're going to take it off anyway. It's just you're prolonging the inevitable. Anyway, the finger survived. I read about one thing. There's like all the muscle stuff. I can kind of hold down on it, but I can't lift up, which you don't really lift up. Use your fingers the opposite way that much anyway. But Anyway, that was a brutal crash. That was my first full-on at speed bite to dust. Getting my hand caught between the bars and the ground and tumbled. The crazy thing is the whole time I'm tumbling, my head keeps hitting the ground really hard, and I'm thinking it's going to be one more blow and I'm going to black out. And I know for a fact I'm going to go off this road because a slough was like where that ditch is there was a slough, a deep ass slough, and the slough is probably about as wide as, you know, from the edge of the trees across this road. And I just knew I was going to go in this thing. It's pitch black middle of the night, and I'm just thinking, you know, I'm going to knock myself out before I fall into the water, because I know for a fact I'm going into the water because I'm in a left-hand turn. And all of a sudden things came to a stop. All I remember is flipping and rolling, seeing sparks coming off of the bike. I must have been close to it, or you know, spun around a certain way that I've seen it a couple times. It was putting off a goddamn spark shower, you know. Just that screeching, tumbling metal sound, and the sound of your body when you roll on the ground, how you hear that, you know, your body makes a sound when it tumbles. You know, and it's knocking the air out of you and everything else. Anyway, I got up and kind of banged some levers back and kicked the front wheel so it kind of somewhat sort of steered straight. We actually got back into town, and it's like, man, my right hand is just killing me. And the glove was just getting crazy heavy. It was filling with blood. We stopped at a light, or a traffic light that had street lights, and I looked down. I thought the finger was gone. I thought it was completely gone, because I look and the glove is just a mangled mess, and I feel, and I don't feel my finger. I didn't notice the bone was still there, but yeah, brutal. Man, I learned how to, well, I learned crashing heavily on a motorcycle fairly goddamn early. That was crazy brutal. That was a good tumbler. So there's two of them. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, I don't know if my boy's still in his car over there or not, truck. I'm going to stop you because I made 15 minutes out of that stupid thing. And we'll go on and talk about some more road race / street crashing BS.